Just one swift fall to the earth, and here you stand, born right in the center of a vast open plain in the American West. Mom gives you some licks, then pushes you to get those shaky noodle legs moving and a cozy welcome from the ground. A few more stumbles later, and soon enough you're staggering upright, looking like someone learning to wear high heels for the very first time. You stumble over and take your first sip from the endless milk fountain conveniently positioned beneath Mom. Not quite Starbucks, though it definitely works. Hardly got a sip when the herd decides it's time to move, and Mom takes off, so you trail her shaky pace. This here is your herd, around 8 mares or perhaps 9. And that older fellow over there, that's the stallion, the commander and guardian of the herd. And guess what? He's also your father. By the way, you aren't the only newcomer here. Foals are scattered everywhere, each resembling little, trembling adults still figuring out how to keep their legs steady. You all begin sniffing one another's noses and knocking heads in what might resemble a complete version of a handshake. By the time you reach 4 months old, you're beginning to grow tired of milk, so you begin testing grass just like the adults. That initial bite isn't exactly easy, but right as you're wondering if you'll ever master it, a strange, pungent odor drifts in. You twitch an ear, look upward, and, well, hello, Mr. Wolf. Before you can even consider turning tail, the stallion's already standing ahead of you, snorting and stomping like a complete alarm system on 4 legs. The wolf hesitates, sizing him carefully, clearly recognizing that facing an enraged stallion and an entire herd of horses isn't on his checklist. After several seconds of maybe or maybe not, he creeps quietly back into the bushes like some ghost. Well, never thought it would turn out that easy. All right, back again to working out how to chew this green stuff. Days pass on and you begin noticing the herd's routine. Mornings mean munching grass. Afternoons mean lazing around. Every so often, you all watch as the stallion faces off against pushy newcomers attempting to seize control of the entire herd. Life carries on like this until one frosty morning, something feels different. A sharp sting in the breeze, an earthy scent you have never smelled before. The grown-ups begin moving, grouping together with urgent intent. Winter is on its way, and the world is about to shift. The grass becomes dry and brittle, waterholes shrink into puddles, and your carefree days are traded for long treks, searching desperately for anything green and drinkable. Survival isn't only about how quickly you can run. It's about being in the right place, at the right moment. Your small body is changing as well. That fluffy coat you began with is becoming tougher, thicker, and warmer. A snug layer from nature built to help you endure the cold season. Or, let's be honest, simply to make things slightly less miserable, since this fur isn't really winter armor. The herds press tightly, drawing you and the other foals into the middle to guard you from the biting cold whenever the wind rises. Now that feels better. You observe the older horses, hooves scraping through the snow to reveal the scraggly grass beneath. You give it a try, pawing with your tiny hooves and grabbing a bit of grass for the taking. It's not plenty, but it will do. 2 years later, you've officially stepped into your juvenile phase. Though growing up isn't exactly what you anticipated, life begins to feel like an endless parade of kicks and shoves coming from the stallion. He's had nearly enough of you and your companions too. As the sole adult male in the herd, he isn't too pleased with several young colts coming of age nearby, so you're left with 2 choices. Challenge him for control or head down the road. All right then, take your move. Smart choice. Sometimes ensuring all your limbs remain intact is the smartest option. You may as well bid farewell to your companion while heading out. Oh, forget it then. He's already tagging along, kicking out exactly like you. Meanwhile, the young mares remain safely with the herd. Now it's only the 2 of you wandering through the mountains and settling into that new bachelor lifestyle. Days are spent hunting for food, clashing with wolves, and sometimes making a quick retreat. Then, one day, you come across a herd of 5 other youthful stallions. Food, new companions. You team up and create a bachelor gang, and suddenly life's appearing far more exciting. You all wander together searching for food, and every now and then, fights erupt within the gang. Watching these brawls becomes the highlight of your day while you sit back, picking up some fighting tricks, and keeping clear of the fray until you're strong enough to handle your fair share of blows. This bachelor herd carries a pecking order, and it's built entirely on strength. To climb higher, you must challenge the horse ranked above you, then the next, until you reach the peak. And that only occurs after countless rough and bloody battles. Okay, let's push the story forward a little, and you've at last become the strongest of the group. So, what's the next step? Finding a herd of mares and seizing control of it? Incredible. You're just about ready to leave the bachelor life behind. You and your gang set out, and soon enough you encounter a pack of wolves, but they don't appear very interested in you. They're actually aiming at a herd that has only one male. It's far easier to face a lone stallion than an entire bachelor gang. That makes sense. You nod respectfully to one another and continue moving. Hold on a moment. You're both chasing the same goal, a herd of mares. Well, things just turned interesting. You continue trekking across hills and endless plains. Oh, look there, a herd of mares, ripe and ready for the taking. Their stallion doesn't really appear to be in fighting shape, and your buddies are busy hyping you up. They know you're the toughest in the group, and they're eager to watch you seize your prize. They're practically pulling out the popcorn while you warm up for the big showdown. The stallion spots you instantly and realizes exactly what's up. Let the game begin. Within minutes, the duel begins. You're hurling hoof strikes and, when needed, lunging in with teeth. Oh, right, he's got sharp teeth too. Ouch, that really stings. The fight carries on until you finally had enough. Usually lasts about 5 minutes of back and forth. Good attempt. Your crew are measuring the rival stallion's strength based on how you're holding up. Since you're the toughest of the bunch, they realize their chances are slim if you're struggling. You return back to the group, covered in bruises and scratches. Apparently, that was a close one. After some recovery, you pursue another stallion you encounter along the way. And yep, round 2, bruises again. Turns out seizing a herd isn't nearly as easy as it sounds. It's really a game of trials and setbacks. You recall watching your old leader endure this until he finally secured a herd. So every scar from these battles only hardens you further, makes you sharper. Winners here end up seeing the landscape shift. Food grows scarce, your fur thickens, and thoughts of sparring with rival stallions take a back seat to survival. You and your gang wander for endless miles, searching for anything edible and drinkable. When the biting cold strikes, you locate shelter near cliffs, huddling close to stay warm. This continues on until spring eventually returns. The thick winter coat begins to shed, and your herd mates resume their sparring routines. As for you, it's back to hunting for a stallion with several lovely mares to win over. By age 5, you at last succeed, defeating a stallion and claiming his mares plus their young for yourself. Sweet. Now you're the fresh stallion. Your former group splits up, with the strongest taking the lead in your stead. Welcome into your new life, filled with all new challenges. Now you're the one driving off wolves. Having all these mares surely doesn't come without a cost. You lift your hooves and fight off wolves one by one, thanks to all the skills you sharpened in past fights. They eventually back away, granting you a moment's peace before you guide the herd toward a safe place with enough grass. This new life as the lead stallion isn't exactly the glamorous role you once imagined. Protecting, seeking food, guiding, and fighting, plenty of fighting. Now your foes range from wolves and mountain lions to ambitious young stallions eager to claim your spot. Your mares mostly stick to their roles, giving birth, raising the young, and watching you throw down in battles. At this age, you're at peak strength, almost unbeatable, and if you're injured, the mares will care for you. Truly lucky. Winter comes around again, bringing new challenges, long treks, and gnawing hunger. You guide your herd to the places you believe might still hold food and water, relying on the wisdom you've gathered through the years. At least in winter, you catch a break from those young stallions, though sometimes a wolf still needs a reminder of who's boss. You've got this routine mastered by now. By age 12, you've fought more battles than you can count and roamed these plains so often you know every inch. You're beginning to feel it, though. You're a bundle of aching muscles, and you're slowing down. But nobody cares. You've still got to keep fighting. This could be your final showdown. A young stallion stands before you, bursting with energy and ambition, his gang loudly cheering him on. No sweat, you've totally got this. Oh wow, that ended quick. Just like that, you're beaten. The mares vanish without offering so much as a goodbye. How's that supposed to be gratitude? Now, for the very first time, you're truly alone, wandering the same plains you once ruled with your herd. After years spent protecting them, you're left only hoping you can protect yourself. Winners survive here. This time, I'm not so certain your body can handle the biting colds, but let's find out. You push forward alone through icy winds, climbing mountains in search of anything remotely green. You've still got a little fat stored from the previous seasons. Hopefully it'll help keep you going. You keep moving until you reach the side of a rocky cliff and settle beneath it for shelter. Remember the times you used to huddle here with the herd? I packed tight just to stay warm. Now it's only you, with no one to lean on. Do you think they even remember you? Oh, look right over there. There's that old wolf you've already taught a lesson to countless times. Looks like he could be back for some little revenge. And he's returned with friends. What a brutal way to go. Dinner served for a pack of mangy wolves.